Loud. Okay, there we go. So, Sharna, I want you to just share a little bit about your crochet journey and how you started to crochet. I mean, we all have kind of a story about how we got started in our fiber craft kind of thing. So, why
Yeah.
don't you share that?
Well, so I've been crocheting for over 10 years now. I come from a really crafty family. My mum knits, my mum sews, etc. My dad paints watercolors. He plays musical instruments, so it was always going to be there. Like the craft aspect was always going to be there. So I joined Instagram about over 10 years ago, and I can remember when I popped onto Instagram, I did not know how to crochet. I come from a textiles background, so sewing, freehand embroidery, making clothes. And then I joined Instagram to showcase my work, and that's where I come across like loads of beautiful crochet pieces of work. And I thought, wow, I need to learn to crochet. So I taught myself over 10 years ago. From the textiles design road, that kind of come in handy to help me design my own patterns, put colors together. So yeah, and I wanted to make my children some little crochet blankets and some crochet clothes. So that's how when I began to crochet. Yeah. So
Wow, you taught yourself.
I,
So
I
did you do
yeah.
a whole YouTube thing or, how did you make
Um,
make that happen?
so I taught myself through YouTube. I taught myself for about 6 weeks, and then I thought, right, I think I know the basics now. So then I checked myself into a crochet class, and a lovely lady taught me the rest for a couple of weeks. And then after that, I was just off and crocheting everything. I was like literally had a crochet hook in my hand for about a year.
We can all relate to
Yeah.
that. And how old are your children?
So Henry is he's 13 now, and my two girls are 20 and 24. So
Okay.
yeah.
I thought if you were making baby blankets 10 years
Yeah,
ago,
no, yes. So I was making like little cardigans, little tank tops, and as the girls have grown older, they've been asking me to make them cute little festival tops to wear to festivals and things like that, which was yeah.
oh, which is fabulous. And we should have done this beforehand, but tell everyone where you live too.
So I live near Brighton in the UK, which is about an hour and a half away from London. I live right on the seafront, so and it's very cold here at the moment as well.
I imagine being on the sea, it's going to be cold there too, as well. So,
Yeah, it is. So a
yeah.
lot of my that's where a lot of my inspiration comes from, like the sea. So
Oh, fabulous. Well, we have no sea around us, so we can't really say we get our inspiration from the sea. So then get how did you start designing? Did you just do that from the beginning? You just once you learned the basic skills, then you just kind of took off and said, I can make this or I can make that. What are you thinking?
yeah, that's exactly it. I just kind of just I mean, I didn't write the patterns down to begin with. I just started designing my own things, and then I would showcase them, put them on Instagram, and then people would be like, "Oh wow, I love that. Have you got a pattern for it?" And I was like, "Oh no, I haven't." And then I suddenly realized, oh, actually, I could start writing the patterns and sharing them with people, and then people were actually interested when I started doing that. Using my patterns and making stuff, which was really exciting and really lovely to see. So most of my patterns are put out for free on my blog. So if after this, if you go over to my Instagram account and click on my blog, there will be a few free patterns if you're
Absolutely.
interested. So
We will put that in the chat. We will put your blog and your Instagram. So you just got on Instagram and then you started sharing your patterns. And I think you have a lot of followers on Instagram.
yeah, no, I do that. So yeah, I started showing my patterns on Instagram, and then Crochet Magazines got in touch with me and asked if I would design patterns for them and other yarn companies. So and it just took off from there really. So I don't it's just such a blow. It's just happened so quickly, and it's just like times evolved, and it's just yeah, sometimes gets a bit crazy and sometimes goes a bit quiet, but no, it's really exciting. So
Really exciting. And tell me about your relationship with Sadar then. So we aren't as familiar with Sadar being in the US, but we are expanding our line, and we're expanding our line with Sadar with this very kit. So tell me about your relationship with Sadar and how that kind
Yeah.
of got going.
So so this is my second crochet along that I've done with Sada. About 4 years ago, I think I done their second cow, and it was called the Winterberries design. And had a really great time working with them. And they recently got in touch and asked if I would do another one for them. They're a really lovely company, and I love their yarn. They're really welcoming. So, and they're based up in Yorkshire, so completely miles away from me, up
The
the
other
other
direction.
UK. So this time I went up to Seda headquarters, which is where I done all the filming for the Crochet Along. They gave me a whole tour of their warehouse, the whole tour of where everyone does all the designing, the pattern makers, like literally everything. It was really exciting, and the people who like they're just so lovely. They're a really lovely company. So I was more than happy to design another Crochet Along for them. So really, really lovely people. So
Had you had you used their yarns prior to designing? I mean, I think you could probably find them in most yarn stores in the UK, right?
yeah, they're quite popular, and I have used their yarn lots. I can always trust their yarn. It's always reliable, and I know that they do a really great color range as well. So and it's a really good price range, because it's going to come, you can get really affordable yarn in their range is going to quite expensive yarn. And I'm also quite lucky now that if I want to try out some of their yarn, because I know them so well, I can just say, hey, can you send me a ball of this, please?
Oh, I like that idea.
Yeah, I
That's
think
fabulous.
while I was there, I got to see some sneak previews of new yarn that's going to be coming out soon, which was really exciting. So got to squish all the balls and everything, have a little play, which was fun.
Oh,
So,
fabulous.
yeah.
Well, as I mentioned, we do an Instagram live every Monday, and I mentioned to our followers that we are expanding our Sadar line, and we're expanding it with this very project, this very kit. So we have purchased the Hearts and Flowers crochet kit for people to be able to purchase and do it. So why don't you explain maybe how it works? And then we'll come back and explain how you kind of came up with the design. So, because this is our first crochet along. So I've been telling everyone they have videos and patterns, but I don't really quite know how it works. I figured we just talk to you. And by the way, for those of you that didn't know, we were just communicating on Instagram. And so then I just messaged Sharna and I said, hey, would you join us for a Zoom event? And she was so kind to say yes. So thank you. So tell us about how it works.
So the Crochet Along, it's a 6 weekly crochet along. So if you have brought the yarn pack, purchase, and you're taking part, you hopefully have all signed up over on Serda.com. You will receive your weekly free pattern. So each week, a new part of the cow, Crochet Along cow, I don't know what you call it, sorry, is released. So each week, one part of the pattern is released over a 6-week period, and you basically each week you make a part of that blanket, which becomes a great big blanket. So we start off really gently. So if you're new to crochet, you can ease into the project really nicely with some really simple stitches. And it's also really fun for people that are really advanced at crochet. And then as the weeks progress, it gets a little bit more complicated. But it's so much fun, and every week there is video tutorials, so you can see my hands crocheting along. So there's video tutorials so I can talk you through the stitches. I do an introduction to each week. I talk about my inspiration for the stitches, the pattern that I've used this week. I talk about the colors, etc. So it's just it's just a really great way to connect with other crocheters from around the world. So I don't know if you know that Serda have got a Facebook page, a make along page. So that's a really nice. So if you get stuck, or if you want to chat about anything else, all the ladies over on that page are really nice to talk to, and there's lots of encouraging people over there. So yeah, so that's how you join in with the Crochet Along. Sorry, I hope I've got Got that. Okay.
Yes. Yes.
Sorry,
Fabulous.
I've just I flew in from Milan this morning. I've been away for the weekend, so
Oh my gosh.
I flew in really early, and and I've had quite a busy day. So sorry. Yeah, I hope I didn't confuse anyone with that. So
No, no, no. I'll recap. So let's see. You purchase a kit from Knit Paper Scissors, and
yeah,
then you go to Sodar.com. And do you just sign up for their newsletter, or is there a specific for the?
you sign up for the Crochet Along. So as soon as you've given them your email and you signed up for it each week, which happens to be on a Wednesday UK time around 10 a.m. I'm not sure, is that going to be? I don't know what time that would be where you are. The first, so on a Wednesday around 10 a.m. in the morning UK time, the first part of the pattern Crochet Along is released. You'll make the first week, and then the following Wednesday, it's always on a Wednesday, the next pattern is released, and you'll make the second week until you reach week 6. And by the time you reach week 6, you should have a complete blanket. So
Okay.
yeah, so I mean, you don't have to do it in the 6 weeks. You know, it's the pattern's going to be there forever. You can work at your own pace, but a lot of people like to make a blanket in 6 weeks and just really like tuck into it, you know.
Absolutely. So as we don't have a picture of it here, but the blanket appears as it repeats the patterns on down, right? So do you do a portion, you learn like in the first 6 weeks and then you finish it, or?
Yeah, so I've made the blanket. So my previous blanket, I'd done a stripe blanket. So each week we just continued adding different stripes to the blanket, different This time I've done it in different panels, and we will crochet the panels together. So all the instructions will be there. I will talk about each week. I explain how to do it. You've got all the video tutorials. So I can't really say too much about that, giving things away, but it's very exciting. So.
Fabulous. And the video tutorials, that's, I think, a really nice value to be able to hear from you and to get the tips from you and how to do it. That must have been fun to film those, or was it challenging?
It was a very long day. So the video tutorials will come out the same time as you get the pattern release. You can click on a link to get the video tutorials. But so like I said, I went all the way up to Yorkshire. So it's 3 days of filming. So it was a day and a half, a really long day of me doing the hand tutorial on how to do the stitches. And then it was a day and a half of me talking about how introducing each week, talking about my inspiration, etc. So yeah, it was really, really good fun. When I was doing the filming, because it was the spring cow, I got a nice spring dress to wear for the filming. So when they were filming me, I could wear a nice spring dress and everything. And I got the train all the way up to Yorkshire, and when I unpacked my suitcase, I forgot to put the dress in.
Oh, no.
So what am I going to wear? So Seda had so I was in their showroom, filming in their showroom. So I got again a sneak peek of new yarns. I got a sneak peek of their new collection. So they had a whole row of beautiful jumpers ready to go into a collection that they had made. So I ended up wearing one of their jumpers.
You put one of those on.
It was quite funny. Yeah.
So Hearts and Flowers, tell us about the inspiration. And those of you that are listening in, I want you to think of some questions that you might have as we wrap up, questions that you might have just about crochet or about her journey or about the design of the project. So tell us a little bit about how, and you said you get inspiration from where you live. If you live on the ocean, that would definitely provide that. But this is a very springy piece. I mean, it's just beautiful.
Thank you. So the inspiration came. So first of all, they sent me a box of 100 colors. So the yarn you're making the blanket with, it comes in 100 color range. So I had this massive box turn up on my doorstep, and there was 100 colors, and I needed to pick 10 colors to make the blanket with. It had to be 10 colors. So oh my goodness, wow, where do I start? So I think I managed to whittle it down to about 16 shades, and then played with samples, etc. And that's when my inspiration started kicking in, and I got it down to the 10 shades quite quickly. So my inspiration, I mean, I don't know if any of you follow me on Instagram, you know that I like lots of pink, different coloured pink tones. I'm quite daring with colours. I like a little bit of a clash. So this is most probably my most daring project that I've ever made, actually. So I picked the colours, with it being springtime here in the UK, it's usually when all the flowers start to bud. And we get lots of beautiful flowers pop up. So I thought I wanted to add an element of that into the blanket. It's going to be Valentine's Day.
Right.
We'll be crocheting hearts over Valentine's Day, so I wanted to add some love hearts in there. And then we've also got in the UK, I think you celebrate it at different time. We've got Mother's Day, and we've got Easter coming up. So I just thought it'd be really fun that we can add all those elements into the blanket. I also really like, I'm really into like 60s vibes at the moment and 60 colours. So I'm really happy because that's been some of the feedback. Some people have said, "Oh, it's got 60s vibes," which was
Definitely
really
does.
made me happy. And I wanted to kind of do a modern twist on that. So and that's where that comes from. So and then you've got like some wavy stitches in there, some long wave stitches. So that's my like I said, I live near the beach. That's my element of my personality of me living near the on there. So. And again, I just love all the bright colours at the moment. So I was just, the bright colours really motivated me for the project. So the pink tones, there's like a mustard shade, but I think it's called Gift on the colour sheet. So I love pinks and mustard shades together and creams together. And I love crocheting granny squares. I've written a book with, I've collaborated on a book called 3D Granny Squares, I think 100 3D Granny Squares. So that's where why we've got granny squares in the blanket, because that's one of my favorite things to do. So yeah.
Agree. Well,
Yeah.
I just put your Instagram in, and of course, as you know, our phone listens, and so I opened up my Instagram, and the very first post is you, but I can share here. There's the waves.
Yeah,
and what you posted. Is that showing so you guys can see it?
yeah. So
Yes.
you've got the pink tones in there, the kind of darker pink tone there. It's really hard to get the color right in pictures, but and then you can see there's the element of the clashing colors there in there as well. And I think definitely is some 60s vibes of the colors there that I've
Oh,
used.
yeah. Yeah. I'm very intrigued by that wave. I think that looks, I just love the design of, it looks like doubles and triples and singles, right?
Yeah, you've got some doubles, you've got some triples, you've got some double triples in there, and some half triples. So it's which the wave, yeah.
Wow, I'm super excited. So is it written in you know, there is this
Yeah,
constant UK terms versus US terms.
yeah.
So
The pattern is written in UK terms, but it's all the abbreviations are going to be there in the US terms as well. So it should be pretty easy to find and to translate. I mean, I get really confused because I read both American terms and UK terms, and sometimes when I'm writing my patterns, I will use I tend myself to use US terms. I find yeah. So so I always sometimes translate them back into English terms, but I mean, if you get used to it, I don't think there's much. I mean, in America, double crochet is here, we would call that a triple crochet stitch.
Right.
And a double crochet stitch for us would be a single crochet stitch. Guys, I know it's very confusing, but yes, but I do prefer the US terms.
Okay. Well, I thought we better clarify that because I know sometimes I've started on a pattern and I'm like, this isn't right. And then I look and go, oh yeah, it's UK terms. And then I have to make that adjustment. What is your blog? What is your blog? Where do we find that? I'll type that in the message here.
So if you click the link on my bio,
Okay.
You've got one with the hearts and flowers, which will take you to the third page, but one underneath, if you click on that, there's a link tree, and there's patterns already on there, but you can click down and it takes you to my blog, which it's kind of live at the moment, but I'm actually in the process of just updating it. So, but you'll still get to see a few bits and pieces on there.
Yeah, you've got a granny square glove pattern, granny, yeah, wow, little puffy cowl, crochet net blog pattern. Oh, great things. So from Instagram, and I know you guys, most of you that are on the our time together, are on Instagram. So you want to subscribe to Sharna, and then you can click those links once you go back to the main profile on the main profile page. Definitely. What questions do you have about her journey, about the project, about crochet, about anything that you would like to know? Why we've got a few minutes here to wrap up. I'm going to put it back on, where is it? My view. There we go. View. Put it back on gallery so that I can see you guys. And what would you like to ask, Sharna?
Go
ahead, Val.
Okay. Hi, Sharna. Thank you for joining us today. We love it. You've been great. I want to know, I'm looking at your Instagram, all of your pictures. What is your favorite thing to crochet? You crochet pretty much everything, but what's your favorite thing?
My favorite thing to crochet, wow, I go through different stages. Last year I loved crocheting bags. So I just crochet bags and more bags and more bags, and I loved using different yarns to make the bags, with like t-shirt yarn, raffia yarn, make a summer bag. At the moment I'm back into crocheting blankets, so I've got loads of ideas in my head, so I'm just like trying to think of another design at the moment, but I'm very excited to make more blankets. And maybe that's because it's really cold here. I know it's really cold where you are, so yeah, I go through different stages, but blankets and bags are most probably my favorite things to crochet.
You mentioned Winterberries was your first collaboration with Sidar. Is that available on Sidar's website?
So I think it's still available on their website. When I done the crochet along with Serda, we used a different Serda yarn. It was a yarn called Soft Twist, which you will find on their website. The yarn you'll find on their website, but now all their crochet alongs are done with this bonus yarn. So I'm not sure if it's whether they're going to update the pattern or not, but all their crochet alongs that they have done are on their website, so you can click on and join in with anyone. So yes.
And one of the things you did mention, and I had seen this in my original communication, there is a Facebook group. And is it, let's see, what is the name of that Facebook group? Do you know it off the top of your hand?
I think it's called Serda Make Along.
Serda Make Along.
Yeah.
Make Along. Okay.
So if you request to join, it's great because you get to meet crocheters from all over the world, and everyone's really, really friendly, and and everybody uploads their pictures of the crochet along, what stage they're at, and everyone gets to join in and have a look. It's really sociable, so it's really lovely. Yeah.
Okay, so that's on Facebook. There's so many ways that we get all of our information. We often use a Ravelry thread where we're posting on Ravelry, and then there's Instagram, and then there's Facebook. But Sidar's is on Facebook, and it's like a group that you join.
Yes, it's a group that you join. So if you I think if you type in Serda Make Along, I'll see if I can send you the link after we've had this.
Okay.
Zoom call, and if you ask to join, they would usually accept you straight away, and there's people that connect from all around the world on there, so, and it's just really helpful if you get stuck on anything. People say, hey, have you tried this, have you tried that, and it's good for recommending other designs and other patterns as well. So,
oh, how fabulous. Other questions that you guys might have?
I just want to say, I love your designs. I am an avid knitter, new crocheter. And so I've been to Sidar. It's one of my favorite yarns. So I've been to Sidar and gone through some of the old patterns. And so I've seen some of yours. And I guess my question is, I've been wanting to do this blanket, but I guess I'm a little afraid being such a beginner. Is it something that with your video tutorials that I will be able to finish the project?
Yeah, absolutely. Like I said before, this pattern is for everyone. It's a really gentle pattern, a really mindful pattern. So we're going to start off really gently, and we're going to start off with some simple stitches. So anybody that is new to crochet, hopefully they will get it and they will join in. When you get your weekly update of the pattern release, there will be a link to the video tutorials to help you if you get stuck with anything. And I'm always around to help or give tips or ideas if you need them. So, but hopefully you'll be fine. I mean, it's always good before you start the blanket to have a little practice and get your tension right and everything before, you know, just get comfortable with the stitches before you start the blanket, I would say. So yes.
Blankets are my favorite. So I've done lots of blankets. So my tension is good. I just want to make sure like your video tutorials will be good enough to learn those more complicated stitches that I might not have seen before.
I really think so. And I would say that this blanket that I've done this time, it's not as complicated as some of the other Serdo crochet alongs that have been in the past. I would say this is quite a mindful blanket, quite a relaxing blanket. There's relaxing stitches there. So if anybody's like been crocheting for a while, they can sit and watch Netflix or watch a movie while they're crocheting, really get into the stitches. Hopefully there's a lot of repetitive stitches in this crochet along as well. So hopefully if you are new, you will just get the hang of it and pick it up straight away. Fingers crossed anyway. So yes.
I love how you describe it as gentle, a gentle beginning. You know, we would say simple, easy, but I love your descriptions, Sharna, about a gentle, peaceful. It just makes me feel like I could do it too. I'm like Amanda. Knitting is my first craft, but crocheting, I'd love to build my crocheting skills. And I'm very attracted to your 60s look. I'm very into kind of retro stuff as well. So I'm attracted to it too.
Thank you so much. So my auntie actually messaged me today because my auntie can't crochet and she loves the blanket, and she will be a beginner too, and she asked, well, would she be able to do it? So I was like, yes, of course. So so it's really exciting to have new people like see the design and think I want to pick up a crochet hook now and learn to do that. It's really lovely.
That's great. Other questions? Good question, Amanda. Anybody else have another question? Okay, well, we are, as you know, crochet is so popular. I can't begin to tell you how popular crochet is. And I mentioned this, Sharna, she knows this already, but I mentioned it before in my communication, how we went to our winter market. We had like a winter market here in Lincoln, like you go to in Germany, the markets, the Christmas markets. So we had something like that. So we had a booth there and we had people coming in, and I would say 70% of the people that came to our booth asked about crochet.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And so one of our growth areas in Knit Paper Scissors this year is crochet. And we really want to kind of build that crochet community. And that's why we're stepping in and stepping out with your project as our very first project. So for those of you Knit Paper Scissors folks, we will be having, it'll either be Saturday or Sunday afternoons through February, through the same 5 weeks, where we will have a time where we'll come together and, you know, we'll be a support to each other at that time. So that then, you know, for an hour, you can pop into the shop, and most likely, I'm working on calendar today, and it'll be a Saturday or Sunday. It won't be during the week, but so that you can then connect and communicate with each other as well. So we continue to build our own crochet community too.
Oh, that's very exciting.
Yeah. Well, Sharna, this was great. Thank you for flying home from Milan and being on the call with us. This is what I love about the fiber world is, as you know, I work with Rowan as well, and we've had many designers and guest speakers from Rowan, And it's just really fun to be part of a world community. And that's what I hear you saying about the Facebook group and everything like that. And to think that we're going to work on this project and now we know Sharna and we know where she lives and all of those kinds of things.
Yeah, well, thank you very much for having me. And please, anybody pop in and say hi. And if there's anything you're worried about during the Crochet Along, pop over to Instagram. I'm happy to chat. So
that's how she and I got started. We just started chatting on Instagram. So do make sure you give her a follow today. And if you haven't got your kit, get in and we'll get you one reserved. And we will plan to be in touch about when we're going to be getting together as a group. So Sharna, thank you again so much. Everyone, thank you for joining on. I appreciate your support and we will see you. We'll look forward to another time. How's that sound?
Excellent. No, that sounds great. Lovely to meet you. Thank you so much.
All right. Bye. Bye, everyone.